Awesome day outside today. How you going, guys? And welcome to another episode of Skullcam. Anyway, that's enough about the weather. Let's do a bike check. First bike we got is a 110cc pit bike. Next bike is the X7. It's a 80cc. That's a future project. Bike number 3, pocket dirt bike. I've seen this one in a few previous videos. Bike number 4, nastiest pocket bike. I also got this 50cc moped. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. It's not registered or anything, it's just sitting around. Bike number 6, the pocket stunt bike. I'm sure all you guys have seen that in the last few videos. Apparently this is the main bike for the channel, the pocket race bike. In the last video I said I was going to choose that bike to build up. I chose this one because it was already running. It was a complete bike as opposed to the pocket stunt bike. I'm missing the original tank and the original cover, so I decided not to use that one. But check this out. I'll just take the cover off and show you. Stick it down for a sec. What I was going to do is take the foot pegs, the handle grips and the tyres and stick them onto this one, and the snake pipe was going to go on. So I took the standard pipe off. Turns out that one doesn't fit. Then I finally got this one, the other race pipe that I had on the bike. I'll give you a better look. The problem with that pipe is I had to grind this bracket off, which went up in there. Also, it's still hitting on this bracket, and I realised there's no back bracket on the exhaust pipe, so yeah, it doesn't mount up to the bike frame at all. So that brings us back to the pocket stunt bike. It has the race pipe, it has the slicks, it's got the foot pegs, it's got the handle grips, and the only downside to the pocket stunt bike is the engine's really old and I can't use that seat and tank setup for the track. Before I do any more work on getting that bike ready for the track, I want to show you guys the pocket bike high flow fuel mod. There's a few tools you're going to need for this mod. A drill, a small file. This one here is a little Dremel file, that'll focus, and also a drill bit. The first step would be to strip your carby down. If you're not too sure on how to do that, go down to my channel and check out my last video. Once we got the carburetor stripped down and we've got hold of the fuel tap, make sure you take out that little washer there, rubber washer, and put that aside so you don't lose it. They always fall out. Now the problem with these fuel taps is if you turn them on and you blow through the end, not on all of them, but on most of them, it'll be really hard to blow through and it'll be very restricted. Sometimes when you turn it on or off, it doesn't even make a difference. So if you've done any sort of mods on your pocket bike, race exhaust, big bore carby mod like on this one, or the big bore head or any other sort of mod, there's really no point to that if you've got fuel restrictions. And if there's any sort of problems, any sort of restrictions, if you're not happy with it, this is the best mod you can do. It opens it right up, it lets plenty of fuel through, which allows you to take full advantage of any mods you've done. There's only one setback, nothing to do with power gains. The only setback is this mod deletes the tap, so you can't turn it off, it just stays on. But what you do is when you finish riding, just drain your spare fuel out, put it aside. Anyway, enough gibbering skullcam, let's get into this mod. Step 2, you want to pull it apart, open it up, 2 little screws, one there and one on the other side here. Once those screws are loosened off, the top should come off and you'll see a little rubber grommet inside with 4 holes. 2 pins hold 2 holes and the 2 other holes connect the top to the bottom and let the fuel run through. Then the top half is a series of the top washer, that washer there, and the little spring washer and the actual tap. And on the end of the tap there's like a little U, so when you turn it, it connects the 2 holes and the fuel flows through from the top to the bottom. Obviously when you turn it off, the 2 holes don't connect and no fuel goes through. Once you've got the fuel tap pulled into pieces, you want to take that little rubber grommet out, just pop it out like that. And there's those 2 holes I was talking about. Fuel goes in the top, comes out that hole, flows through to the bottom hole, comes out the bottom. Not the greatest design. You grab your drill bit and it fits inside there. What you want to do is just drill straight through all the way to the bottom. We're going to mount the fuel tap in a little vise just to make it easier to drill. Just like that. We're about halfway. Let's check it out. So there we go, we're halfway up to the first hole. Just got to go through to the bottom hole. All the way through. Take it off and give you a look. Straight through. That's what the inside looks like. 2 little holes are gone. Next thing you want to do is get your file and just clean up the edges where the drill went through. Make sure it's nice and smooth. After doing the drilling and the cleaning up on the fuel tap, next thing we want to do, grab the carburetor body and you want to check this little hole right there in the middle. That's the hole the bottom of the fuel tap connects to when you screw it on. Make sure that hole is nice and clean, and if you need to, just get your little Dremel tool and clean up or open it up. Don't change the shape of the surface or the outside hole. It's just the bottom of the hole you want to modify, and open up the entrance. Make sure it's nice and clean and not blocked off. I'll just quickly show you on this old carburetor body. This is the old one. The hole's really deep and really big. It's like that standard. And as a comparison, here's the new one. It's a lot smaller, a lot shallower. That's why it's important to check that bottom hole, because some of them are made really well and randomly some of them are made not so well. So I'm going to open this one up a little bit, clean it up, make it a little larger, get it flowing properly, and then we'll get into the next step. Quick overview. Over the last 2 videos, we've completely modified the carburetor. I showed you how to disassemble it. We done the big bore carburetor mod where we bored out the intake side. Now we've done the high flow fuel mod where we bored out the inside of the fuel tap. Last step in the mod, get the tap we just modified. Get the little rubber washer, stick that in so the pins go in the 2 holes. Get the plastic tap, spring washer goes on. Next this washer goes on like that, and you carefully put it all together. Line the spring washer up. You just want to make sure the open end of that first washer is in line with the top. Washers are all lined up. The last one goes on and it faces down. Put in the 2 screws and we're done. That was the pocket bike high flow fuel mod. Just to check if it's working, block up the bottom hole, blow through the top hole, make sure it's airtight, make sure no air's leaking out from where the tap is. If you want to get real fancy, you can always just cut the top of that plastic tap off. That will give it a lot cleaner look, and there's no point in having that on there anyway. That's a wrap.